Hi folks and welcome. In this video here, we're going to talk about, do we use brokers in purchasing multifamily or commercial real estate? My name is Pat Gage and I'm the Director of Acquisitions for the Block G Group. And a real simple, answer would be, folks, yes, we do. We use a couple different ones, so I'm going to walk you through this. Now, again, if you're coming from residential, this is a little bit different, but it is also the same and well, and I'll mention the similarities and the differences. We have a listing broker, right? Just like you do in residential. This is the broker that is the listing of the property. Okay, this is the broker or the brokerage firm that creates the OM or offering memorandum and markets the apartment complex or the commercial property you're looking at purchasing. Okay, then we have what they call a buyer's broker. Right? This is a broker that works on behalf of the buyer, such as us. They work for us when we're trying to buy, or you when you're trying to buy an apartment complex. And really, this is really where the similarities kind of end in the commercial realm compared to the residential realm. Okay, so there's two different types, there is two different ways to use them, and I'll explain those here in a second. Now, the listing broker, again, as I covered before, it's the listing broker that has the property. They're dealing directly with the seller or the seller's agent. All right. They're creating the offering memorandum, all that marketing information about the complex, about the retail strip center, about the office building, right? They have all that information. They Some examples of people, or I should say services or brokerage services that do this, are CB&RE, Cushman and Wakefield, Marcus and Milchamp, and Berkadia. These are the type of companies that you want when you're selling your property to be marketing your property. Why do I say that? Because they're creating the offering memorandum and they're again working for the seller. Okay, you got to understand that they're working for the seller. And now let me make sure that you understand this. Their job is to sell this property, this apartment complex, at the highest price possible. Now, a big difference here from residential: brokers in the commercial realm typically don't use comparables to price the property. Okay, what they do now in a residential, let me make sure that you understand, a residential broker, a listing broker, they list the property at what all the other properties have sold in a 2 mile radius, and that's the price. Unless your house has something very, very special, even if it has something special, you're not going to get tens of thousands of dollars over the listing price. Now, again, caveat, because as I'm recording this, we're in April of 2021. It's a seller's market. There's some crazy stuff going on, people overpaying, but in general, that's what it is. Now, in the commercial realm, my price, or the price that I can ask for a property in the commercial, isn't necessarily based on comps. I can have the same complexes across the street from each other, same size, same build, same everything. If I run my property better and have a better or a larger net operating income, and my expenses are reduced more, I can ask 5, 6, $10 million more than that property across the street or down the street. That's the big difference in commercial compared to residential. Residential, you're capped on what other comps had sold. Another 1,200 square foot ranch sells for this 1,200 square. Here's the range. Boom. That's not the such. And that's why I'm saying, and I'm bringing this up to you, is when you're out there contacting and getting on these people's mailing list, you understand that their job is they work for the seller and their job is to get the highest price possible. Now, again, like I said before, I'm recording this in April 4th, Easter Sunday of 2021. We are in a seller's market. What that means, we're in a seller's market phase 2 actually here, is that the numbers don't have to make sense, right? We underwrite hundreds of deals a month, and 99.9 of them don't pencil because the numbers don't make sense. People are paying these numbers based on their cost of capital and their capital structures. So some of these prices, so I'm saying this to you and letting you know that there's a difference. So don't think that you're doing something wrong when you're getting all these OMs from all these different listing brokers and going, oh my God, something's wrong with my formulas. It's not. Okay, people are buying and they'll sell it at the highest price possible. And again, you understand too, folks, is before they even come out with this price, they've had their analysts and their due diligence financially going over this on whatever price they're hoping to get for this property, and they have all the answers of why it needs to sell at that price. Okay, just a little heads up, just kind of a thing there. Again, they work for the seller. Nothing bad or good. I'm just telling you so you can be aware, right? Now we have the broker's buyer, right? Again, these are people that work or brokers that work for you on your behalf. Now, you then have this broker go talk to the seller broker if they have one. That's great, right? You kind of get that. And again, it's neither good nor bad. Typically examples here are like small boutique firms, smaller agencies, like let's say a Coldwell Banker commercial. They're not these huge listing brokers who just that's all they do is list properties, and they're known. And again, going back to the listing brokers, they're known for their list, right? There's buyers list. That's what they're known for. So if you're selling a property, you definitely want to go with a listing broker that has a big reach, that is just not advertising in your state. We deal with several different buyers or say seller brokers that are multiple states. Why? Because they've got such a big reach, right? So if we're selling a property, I want this in front of everybody. I don't want just in a 2-mile radius. But anyway, buyer's broker here works for you. They work on your behalf, right? Now, some of these buyers brokers may suggest an exclusive agreement if they want to work with it. So if you're out there calling brokers and saying, "Hey, I'm looking at buying in this area," and they say, "Oh, great, yes, we can help you out with that," they may suggest an exclusive working agreement. Now, we've done those in the past. We've learned from that. You do not have to do those. In fact, the last one we were just in was really a waste of time. And what it is an exclusive. So what the broker is going to say is, hey, listen, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to beat the bushes. I'm going to go and talk to property managers. I'm going to go talk to sellers and my repertoire or who I know and get a deal that's not listed, right? And it's off market kind of a deal, right? And you say, oh, this is great, cool. Well, the downside of this is if you don't put in straight, strict, hey, performance gauges every month, that they need to be presenting to you 2 or 3 owners a month, this and that, and of course they're going to balk at this because it puts them in a box. Well, you know what? You need to put them in a box because the last one I talked about here is we had an agreement with a couple over on the other side of the state. Well, they didn't have to do anything because we were still marketing, we were still using the listing brokers, right? We were still contacting them and trying to get deals. We were also doing direct to market to owners, right? So it really didn't matter for this agreement. They could sit back and do nothing. They're going to get paid, right? Because we signed an agreement saying if we buy anything in their radius of in their area where they could buy it, they get their commission, whether they brought the deal to us or we brought the deal to us. Well, we got thinking, wow, that's kind of crazy. We're out here spending, $10,000 a month on marketing, and we got this deal, you didn't. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too far, but yes, you can use them, and yes, just be aware if they do bring that up to make sure. I'm not saying to do it or not do it, but I'm saying is to make sure you vet that through an attorney, through somebody who has some experience of an exclusive agreement. Now, 9 times out of 10 they won't bring it up, but I wanted you to be aware of it in case they did. Okay. And again, that's just a little bit more advanced thing. I didn't want to get too far down in the weeds with you on that, but I wanted you to make aware of this, right? So what do we do next, right? Well, realistically, this video hopefully has made you aware that there is two different types of brokers. And again, these are brokers. They're not called realtors at this point. These are commercial brokers. You know, you're going to have to use and interact with a listing broker, okay? Unless you have, a pipeline of direct to seller. And again, these are just different avenues that you can do. Now, I'm not saying you can exclusively do listing brokers or you can do exclusively marketing to sellers or owners. You can do that. We do both. We have a lot of different funnels out there and a lot of different avenues for bringing deals to us. Obviously, the best way to get deals is if the owner picks up the phone and his property's not listed and you save a ton of money, right? And a ton of confusion with dealing with a third party, and that's basically what these brokers are, is the third party they got their hand out, right? I mean, so if you can talk direct to a seller, that's always the best way to do it, right? But we got to be realistic, right? So we have two different ones. We got a buyer's broker. We also have a listings broker, listing broker. You can choose to use a listing broker, right? Or I should say a buyer's broker. Now, what that will do is you'll put that person in place in between you and the listing broker, or you or the seller. Now, what our experience has been is that if you have a buyer's broker with a listing broker, that has a little bit more credibility, right? Now they're dealing with peer to peer, right? They're another broker's talking to another broker. Just like let's say, look at it this way: when you go in, and I'm sure a lot of you have never been in court or but lawyer to lawyer, right? Every case you see on TV court, they always have a lawyer to lawyer. The guy that doesn't make it is the guy that represents himself against a lawyer, right? And I'm not saying this is the case, but just for comparison, that's what it is. They talk the same language, right? So you can do that. And it's your choice to use the buyer's broker. And again, structure that any way you want to. Now, buyer's broker, we're talking with a buyer's broker coming up here next week, and we're going to suggest that, hey, listen, you go out and do all this for us. You're going to in this area, blah blah blah, and we'll give you your full commission. And that's all he wants, or we find out what he wants, right? So he does all the legwork, right? He goes out and finds these in this certain city, in this certain zip code, or this certain area or state. He brings everything to us. We run due diligence on it. He gets a lot of this. So you got to look at what you want this person to do for you and what you're going to pay him to do. And again, they don't get paid, either of these don't get paid until you close. Okay? So I'm hoping this video was helpful for you, and I hope that at least you learned a little something. And what I'd like to do is give you a free gift. The gift is a free report. It's on our website at opportunitycreator.com. Go down and download it. You will give us your email, and again, we do not hound you in your email. If we send out one email or two emails a month, we're hitting high. We don't bother you with that. We don't sell your email as well. And it's a free report. It's what's the best investment, the stock market or real estate. And I'm assuming, since you're still on this video and still watching, that you know it's real estate, but I'm not going to spoil the end of the book for you. But listen, thank you very much for your time, energy. And again, download that book there. Also, schedule a 30-minute free consultation with me, and let's get you rolling. All right? Thank you very much, and have a great day.